Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Kim Calvert, Vice President of Marketing and Member Services at the Regional Chamber, and it's truly my privilege to welcome you to the 27th Annual Athena Award Dinner. Tonight, we honor 15 nominees, women who strive toward the highest levels of professional accomplishment, women who excel in their chosen career, have devoted time, energy, and leadership to their community, and who serve as exceptional role models, inspiring and assisting others to achieve excellence. Tonight, we celebrate women who embody Athena, the dynamic goddess of Greek mythology, known for her strength, courage, and wisdom. Our nominees are a powerful group with a tremendous ability to impact whatever issues they choose to address and to affect change, and their work and dedication touch thousands across our entire valley. Our nominees represent a diverse group comprising public and private companies, nonprofit organizations, the financial, education, and healthcare sectors, and more. Whether you know our nominees and the work that they have accomplished, or will be learning about them for the first time tonight, I promise that you will be overwhelmed by their individual and collective achievements, as well as their passion for helping others. Over the past 26 years, we have honored nearly 1,000 women in our valley through the Athena Award program, heard so many moving and powerful remarks from our 26 recipients, and had some pretty amazing speakers along the way. Ladies and gentlemen, please turn your attention to the screens for a look back.
Life is hectic and unpredictable, and we all go at an unbelievable pace. But I encourage all of you to truly believe in who you are.
At our orientation, Dr. Laura Meek said, it increases your circle of influence. I love that. That's what this is all about, making this world a better place.
Today we are honoring the contribution of women here in the Mahoning Valley. I am proud to call this home. We have so many positive qualities in our valley and many great leaders making a difference every day.
Be your own kind of leader. Don't think you have to fit into somebody else's mold of what kind of a leader you have to be.
My belief is that all of you, all of us, are driven by our passion and our purpose, whether that's in public advocacy, whether it's in health, whether it's in manufacturing. We all are committed to our purpose.
What does success look like? I heard a quote recently that said success is going from one failure to another with enthusiasm.
This honor confirms something I've known about myself for a long time, and that's I am a hard worker, but I'm also really lucky.
I also think that you need to have a plan. You got to learn how to set goals. Goals are very important. I always tell people that's the roadmap to success.
While the playing field looks more fair and level, we still have work to do. And as I said, that work to do is to nurture and develop the next generation.
You know, it was an honor just to be nominated and to be classed in with all these other wonderful and accomplished women who have done so much in their own areas to help and better our community. And isn't that what the Athena Award and a program is really all about? Recognizing women in leadership who have mentored others, and who have worked for the betterment of their community.
I'm so thankful for the opportunity for women to come together and lead and to mentor each other and to show the world that we can have it all. We just have to juggle a lot of things, and it isn't always going to be perfect.
I don't know if it's because I've attended 17 of these events or if it's because I've overseen this program for the last 10, but somewhere in the middle of that, I always get a little emotional. It's amazing. These women are truly, truly amazing, and it truly is an honor for me to be here today and as we honor our 15 nominees. But allow me to begin our evening with special introductions. Seated at our head table from your left to right are James Dignan, President and CEO of the Regional Chamber, Elizabeth McIntyre, publisher and editor of Crane's Cleveland Business and our keynote speaker this evening, Mary Beth Hauser, Vice President, Wealth and Investment Team Leader for Huntington Bank, our Athena Award Dinner event partner, Dr. Betty Jo Licata, Dean of the Williamson College of Business Administration at YSU and longtime chair of our Athena Committee, Dr. Elizabeth Young, Dean of the College of Medicine and Vice President of Health Affairs at Northeast Ohio Medical University and our 2018 Athena Award recipient, Erin Maloney, Sales Manager for Key Accounts at Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield, founder of the Anthem Scholarship, and Nina Perkins, Community Events Manager for The Vindicator and Vindy.com, co-presenter of the Athena Award program. The Athena Award Dinner, of course, would not be possible without the support of our co-presenter, The Vindicator and Vindy.com. For 25 years, The Vindicator has partnered with the Regional Chamber to present this prestigious event. There are never enough words to express our gratitude for their constant and generous support of this program, especially the extensive Athena promotional efforts that reach more than 250,000 readers. We would like to thank Betty Brown Jagnow, the Vindicator's publisher, General Manager Mark Brown, Nina Perkins, and the entire team for their dedication in making this evening so special and one that each of our nominees and their families will treasure. Please welcome this evening from the Vindicator, Nina Perkins, Community Events Manager.
Thank you, Kim. Good evening. Welcome to the 27th Annual Athena Awards Dinner. As Kim said, I am Nina Perkins, Community Events Manager with The Vindicator. We are proud to have helped sponsor this magnificent program for the past 25 years and wish to thank the Chamber for their ongoing commitment to this important event, because without them, there would be no event, very truthfully. So tonight, please join myself, our publisher, Betty Brown Jagnow, and our General Manager, Mark Brown, as we once again congratulate our outstanding 2019 Athena honorees and look forward to many more years of paying tribute to our deserving local women. Thank you.
Thank you again, Nina, and to the Vindicator for so generously co-presenting the Athena program with us tonight for so many years. And on that note, while we are going to hear a little more about our speaker after dinner, and as I warned her, we did call her alma mater, since she's from the Valley, to find out a little more than she gave me in her bio. So that's going to be some fun stuff. But when I spoke to Elizabeth a couple of weeks ago and asked her about her time in our Valley, she was born and raised in Youngstown, she mentioned that her first job in second grade was delivering the Vindicator. And every day, she would take a good hour and a half to read one article on every single page of the paper at the age of 7 or 8 years old. And it was because of that job that she fell in love with journalism and decided right then that she would become a journalist. So I think that's pretty awesome, given the evening and the Vindicator's partnership for this event. Our dinner partner, Huntington Bank, has been a great friend to the Chamber over the years, sponsoring many of our events, and it's special to us that they have chosen to be part of this one as Bill Shivers, who's the president of the Canton and Mahoning Valley region, sits on the board of directors of Athena International, which governs this program all over the world. Bill, I can't thank you enough for all of your support and all that you do for the Chamber and our Valley. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to give remarks on behalf of Huntington, Mary Beth Hauser, Vice President, Wealth and Investment Leader.
Thank you, Kim. Good evening. It's a pleasure to be with you at this event. Huntington National Bank is honored to sponsor the 2019 Athena Awards. On behalf of William Shivers, our regional president, and on behalf of my fellow colleagues, we would like to congratulate the 2019 Athena Award nominees. We applaud your achievements, the time and energy that you've devoted to the community, and especially we applaud you for opening doors of leadership opportunities to women in the Valley. Enjoy this honor, and again, congratulations to all nominees.
Thank you so much, Mary Beth and Bill, and to the Huntington team again for all that you do and for your sponsorship of this event. Additionally, the Vindicator and Huntington join the Chamber in expressing our gratitude to all of our 2019 Athena sponsors. Please hold your applause. Our diamond sponsor, Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield. Our corporate sponsors, Home Savings, Crop Photography, and Mercy Health. And our patron sponsors, Lee and Bonnie Boardman and Sweeney Chevrolet Buick GMC. Can we please have a round of applause for all of our sponsors? Again, thank you to all. I would also like to thank Social Blooms, which of course set the decor for our evening, and that is owned by veteran Callie Kochansky. And we were excited to see a photo booth in our lobby. I think it's just as wonderful as prom, but better. So if you haven't had your photo out there with your colleagues and family and friends, please be sure to do so this evening before you leave. Well, I would now like to spotlight a very impressive group of women, the members of the 2019 Athena Award Committee, who helped to make this evening a success. The group includes past recipients and nominees, sponsors, and overall influential women in our community. They are such a passionate and dedicated group, led by our exceptional committee chair, Dr. Betty Jo Licata of the Williamson College of Business Administration at YSU. For the sake of time, I will not read the committee members' names, but they are listed on the program. Ladies, would you all please stand while we give you a round of applause for your efforts in making tonight possible. We also wouldn't be celebrating this event without the help of a wonderful team at the Regional Chamber. From the creation of the nomination forms, the invitations and programs, to the reservation process, seating, production, and decor, they make every effort to ensure this evening is memorable for our nominees and guests. A special thank you to my team, Katie Toth, Chelsea Pascarella, and Jackie Horvath, for your hard work and vision for this evening, as well as all the Chamber team who assisted this evening in seating everyone and welcoming everyone as they came in. And to the Chamber's President and CEO, James Dignan, our Board Chairman, Don Klein, and the entire board, thank you for your support of this program and all the wonderful women we honor each year. Well, on May 17th of 2018, Dr. Elizabeth Young, Dean of the College of Medicine and Vice President of Health Affairs at NeoMed, was standing right here at the close of the evening after being named our Athena Award recipient. And as she's about to tell you, that night and the past year have been quite an experience. Please welcome Dr. Young as she shares her thoughts on the honor and words of wisdom for our nominees and offers our invocation before dinner.
Thank you, Kim. It is such an honor to be here. Esteemed guests, as a member of this inspiring community of exceptional women, today I remain as humbled and honored to have received last year's Athena Award as I was that shocking and surreal evening a year ago. I have been amazed and awed by the attention and support of our community, especially other women, as they describe their feelings about the meaning of the award. I've been stopped in the grocery store and literally on the street by strangers. offering congratulations and words of support. So much so that it's caused me to wonder, what is success? Why me? And I want to share a few of my thoughts with you this evening about success and about relationships. There are those that define themselves by their roles and their titles and measure success by accomplishments, outcomes, and metrics. I'm not one of them. We're not defined by our titles and roles, but rather by the sum of every aspect of our lives and the way in which we choose to live our lives. Searching for clarity and meaning in an increasingly confusing and chaotic world, we share a humanness in the power and privilege of the relationships we nurture and grow. As a physician, I've been trained to take information, make a diagnosis, and implement a plan of treatment. Then, I'm judged by my success in solving the problem. While these problem-solving processes are measurable and necessary, I don't believe that they're sufficient to achieve real success. Instead, our relationships are the fertile soil in which our successes grow and thrive. They shape and inform our identity and sense of self. They challenge our ideas and beliefs. Carl Jung said, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." The successes of that privilege are the relationships that sustain, educate, and guide each of us. Relationships accompany life's highest highs and life's lowest lows, but elation or despair, they are life-affirming. Your relationships as leaders, mentors, community servants, and friends can be powerful prevention for the burnout of the work-life balance challenge so many women describe today. Relationships remind each of us that the fundamental act of caring for others and engaging in reciprocal relationships is regenerative. In your lifetime, you'll likely serve in many roles and have many opportunities for success beyond the milestone of this day. And each of your roles will present unique challenges as well as opportunities for success. Navigating life by balancing and acknowledging all of our roles and relationships and our most genuine, transparent, and yes, flawed selves is an example for other women who seek not to be defined by what they do, but by who they are and what they value. This may be the most important thing we have to offer each other. I encourage you to recognize that your successes will transcend your resume, promotions, and awards, and will undoubtedly have something to do with your relationships. Tonight, as we celebrate your many accomplishments, Athena finalists, consider your successes as intimately adjoined to the many relationships that help make this possible. How have your relationships nurtured and supported you as you took the necessary life steps to arrive at this very moment today? May the privilege of your lifetime be to become who you truly are. Thank you for the honor of the relationships we have and will share. And congratulations, all Athena finalists, on your success. And now I'm honored to read the Athena invocation. We pray that we shall never be so blind that our small world is all we ever see, or so supremely satisfied that what we are is all we ever want to be.
Give us the job of feeling someone's need. Make us gracious followers. Make gracious those who lead. And more than all, we pray that through the years, we will remember there are always new frontiers. This evening, as we are about to share this festive meal, we ask for a special blessing for our Athena nominees, who through their achievements teach and inspire us all to reach our full leadership potential. May this celebration shed its light on all we do professionally, for each other and the community. Thank you.
The inspiration for the Athena Award originated in Lansing, Michigan in 1980. And I know for many of you, you'd hate to credit Michigan with anything good, but we will. And it was there that Martha Mayhood Mertz, while serving on the chamber board, realized that there were no awards programs recognizing women in the community. She mobilized her community, she rounded up sponsors, and the first Athena Award was presented in 1982. Since that time, more than 7,000 individuals in 500 communities in 9 countries around the world have received the award and become a part of Athena International. The Athena Award recognizes individuals for their professional excellence, their community service, and how they raise up other young leaders in the community. The Athena Award was first presented in our community in 1990. Dorothy Perrin, who was the president of the Youngstown Business and Professional Women's Club in the 80s, attended a convention of the club in Charlotte, and it was there where she saw the Athena Award on display and decided to bring it here to the Mahoning Valley. She secured Oldsmobile as the sponsor of that first award and partnered with the Chamber to present the first event. And here we are, 27 years later. After the 1991 Athena Award was presented in the Valley, the program went into hiatus with the merger of the Youngstown, Niles, and Warren Chambers. In 1995, the Athena was reinvented, and the Regional Chamber and the Vindicator joined forces as co-presenters, and we're very proud to continue that tradition. The Athena program here in the Mahoning Valley also provides an incredible resource for past nominees and recipients, creating a strong and valuable network of professional women in our area. And tonight we have several past Athena Award recipients whom we'd like to recognize. When your name is called, would you please stand and remain standing until the last individual has been recognized? And please hold your applause. At our head table, Dr. Elizabeth Young, our 2018 recipient. Also with us this evening, Kathy Cook, our 2016 Athena recipient. Jeannie Abel, our 2015 recipient. Attorney Martha Bushy, our 2011 recipient. Attorney Shauna Latalian, our 2010 recipient. Karen Cohen, 2008. Molly Seals, 2007. Karen Abrams. Sister Patricia McNicholas, 2005. And Helen Pays, our first recipient in 1990. Please join me in congratulating these women. Each year, choosing the recipient is always a difficult and challenging task. And for the record, I'd like to be clear that the Athena Committee is not the selection committee. So those names you see on the back of your program, we are not involved with the selection. So I always like to preface with that. It seems like the safe thing to do. But as Kim mentioned, we've had the opportunity over 27 years to recognize more than 1,000 women in our community who've been nominated for the Athena Award. And I'd like to ask all the past nominees who are with us this evening if they could please stand so we could recognize you. In a short while, we will introduce you to all of our nominees. But as become tradition, we also captured a bit of additional insight via video. We asked our nominees a few questions, and throughout the evening, we'll be showing you some of their answers. So if you would, please direct your attention to the screen for our first segment.
My first job was being a caterer for a restaurant that was in Warren, Ohio. It's no longer there. It's called Imperial. And the thing I remember about it the most is that it was my first real experience in events. I look at it as a different perspective now, but that was the first time I got to be a part of an actual big event.
I was a waitress at Shoney's restaurant. Do you remember Shoney's? So they used to make you wear these really horrible man shirts that you can only buy in a man's department with the tie, you know. And I remember I had like every single tie possible, every holiday, every color, and even sports teams. So those ties were like the biggest thing possible, you know. Totally rocked those ties.
My first job was when I was 16. I went out and right on my birthday, I applied at Bob's Big Boy to be a hostess. And I remember that because they immediately said, oh, well, sure, can you work Sunday? And I said, absolutely. And I thought, this is great, I have a job. So I walked in on Sunday. They handed me a uniform that's 2 sizes too big, a bunch of menus, and said, go seat people. And I went, what? What? So needless to say, it was very terrifying because at the time I was super shy and awkward, and probably about 2 hours later I'm there and I've got customers yelling at me and servers yelling at me and I'm in tears and I'm walking around and I'm saying, oh, would you like to come to this table, please? And I remember that was my very first day in the workforce, but I remember thinking that day, I said, I can do this, I can do this, I'm not going to quit. Of all things, I could go through a whole lot of things, but I wasn't going to quit. And that's when I learned, no matter what people were going to throw at me, that I was going to be able to do it.
My first job was working for my family. And as you know, when you work for your family, you don't get a paycheck. So that was my first job. They owned a restaurant and several different places, and that's what my first job was.
My first job was working for an attorney. At the career fairs in school, all that came were police officers, attorneys, nurses, teachers. So I thought an attorney was the best thing for me because they got to help each other and they always told really fun and interesting stories. So I really sought out and had my first job at answering the phones at an attorney's office. He did a lot of public defendant work. I got really scared and decided I didn't want to do it anymore. My favorite recollection was I got my first check, which I still have, and I thought I need to figure out how to work through this. I earned $100 in 2 weeks. I thought having $200 a month was a lot of money.
My first job was riding my bicycle to the Hoss's Farm Market to pick strawberries. I think I was like 12 or 13. So it was so much fun though, but it looked like it was a lot easier. I thought, oh, anybody could pick strawberries, so I was just gonna go do it. But and we made $1/4 a pint. And then I did that for the whole summer, so that was my first job, riding my bike every day up there.
My first job was at a video rental store, and I learned some great lessons in customer service and how to operate a rental, retail store. And I will say that some of the perks were watching the new releases for the first time for free.
That's great. And we'll certainly see more clips throughout the evening of our nominees responding to various questions. So the Athena program is not just the Athena Award, but it also includes the Athena Leadership Forum. And 12 years ago, the Athena Committee established a scholarship to further the goals of the Athena mission to advance women's leadership and promote education. And in conjunction with the Community Foundation of the Mahoning Valley, which manages the Athena Scholarship Fund, we're able to award a deserving student a $1,500 scholarship to continue her education. In addition, I'm proud to announce that this year's recipient will also receive an iPad donated by Lee and Bonnie Boardman. Here to introduce our 2019 Athena Scholarship recipient is the president of the Community Foundation of the Mahoning Valley, Sherry Harrell.
Good evening. It's a pleasure to be here again. As Dr. Licata mentioned, the Community Foundation of the Mahoning Valley holds the Athena Scholarship Fund, and we are really proud to partner with the Youngstown Warren Regional Chamber to make an award each year to a hardworking and inspiring female student. Once you hear about this year's recipient, you'll no doubt want to support more women like her in the future. And you have the opportunity to do just that tonight. There's a pledge card on your table, and each donation will help build the Athena Scholarship Fund and ensure this award continues supporting the Athena mission and the education of local women for many years to come. So make sure you pay attention to that. Pick it up, fill it out, leave it for us, right? As for the scholarship, applicants must be residents of the Mahoning Valley, as well as either currently enrolled at or a high school student planning to attend Youngstown State University, Eastern Gateway Community College, or one of Kent State University's regional campuses. The recipient should demonstrate initiative and excellence in her educational or work pursuits, have a proven record of community involvement, and a commitment to and experience in mentoring others. It is my distinct honor to present this year's Athena Scholarship to a deserving young woman who has excelled in each of those categories and clearly stood out among the applicants. Galina Lapahovsky, was I close? Okay, good. Will pursue her baccalaureate pre-med degree at Youngstown State University after graduating from Poland High School with a 4.0 grade point average this year. Her philosophy of wanting to be the change in the world, as well as her passion for helping others, will certainly drive Galina's success in the medical field and beyond. After spending time as an ambassador for the Ohio North Hugh O'Brien Youth Leadership Seminar, Galina joined the Big Dog, Little Dog program at the Poland Union Elementary School, aiding in classroom activities with the younger students. She was among a select few chosen to be Camp Fitch counselors and helped out at youth softball and basketball camps. Galina assisted with blood drives, Relay for Life, Panerathon, activities in St. John Greek Orthodox Church, and much more. For her efforts, she received the President's Volunteer Service Award Gold Level in 2018. Galina is a Poland High School valedictorian candidate, Class of 2019 Hall of Fame inductee, and student ambassador for the Poland Schools Foundation for Academic Excellence. She is also a 2019 YWCA Young Women with Bright Futures awardee. Galina says that receiving this scholarship enables her commitment to honoring her family for their dedication to the next generation, while preparing her for the next phase of her life as she enters into a journey unknown. She compares this journey to one her grandfather took when he came to America from Greece at the age of 22, as well as her mother's own journey as she entered first grade, unable to speak anything other than Greek. Her mom would go on to become a valedictorian of her graduating class and then the first generation to receive a college degree in chemical engineering at YSU. For Galina, emulating her mother and seeing that the only way to advance in life is forward is her ultimate goal. Ladies and gentlemen, please congratulate our 2019 Athena Scholarship recipient, Miss Galina Lapahovsky. I practiced trying to say it and I still messed it up.
Good evening. My name is Galina Lapahovsky, and I'm a senior at Poland Seminary High School. Women are the future. Clearly, women are the future. Women are the future of our valley. Women are the future of this nation. Women are the future of our whole world. I am absolutely honored to be standing in the presence of such inspirational women who are shaping the future of this valley. Just one generation ago, my grandfather came to Youngstown to work in the steel mills. Today, my mom is a chemical engineer at Valorec, a steel mill just north of Youngstown. The steel mills of yesterday have raised my family from poor Greek immigrants to thriving Americans. My goal in life is to give back to the community that raised us from nothing to something. And the Athena Scholarship will aid in my future endeavors. Next fall, I will be attending Youngstown State University as a biochemistry major in the BACMed program. My goal is to serve women in medically underserved communities with medical care and support. I'd like to thank my parents, who are here with me tonight, for everything in my life. Another big thanks is deserved to my guidance counselor, Mrs. Judy Volison, as well as my former English teacher, Mrs. Anne-Marie Hurdley, for their constant support and help in my endeavors. I also want to thank the Community Foundation of the Mahoning Valley, Lee and Bonnie Boardman for their generous gift, as well as the Athena Scholarship Committee for selecting me for this award. I am absolutely honored to be standing in the presence of the most inspirational women in the Mahoning Valley. Women truly are the future, and I am grateful for the opportunity to witness it firsthand. Thank you.
I think we're in good hands. So when we presented the Athena Scholarship at this event 7 years ago, John Cooper, a regional vice president at Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield and a longtime supporter of the Athena program, was in the crowd and was wowed by the presentation of the Athena Scholarship recipient and the accomplishments in her remarks, and you can see why. That night, he vowed to help even more young women pursue their educational goals, and tonight we're honored to present again 2 additional Anthem scholarships in the amount of $1,250 each. Please welcome to present these awards, Erin Maloney, Sales Manager for Key Accounts at Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield.
Thank you, Betty Jo. Taylor Barber will graduate from Springfield High School with a 4.0 grade point average and is set to attend Youngstown State University this fall, where she will study biology and pre-med. Springfield faculty call Taylor a leader, an outstanding student-athlete ambassador, and a student that a teacher remembers for a lifetime. The National Honor Society member has been inducted into the school's Academic Hall of Fame, received numerous Most Outstanding Student honors in several classes, received an academic letter and pin, won several awards for her writing, and was chosen to be a member of the YWCA's Young Woman with Bright Futures group. The varsity soccer player, who was awarded an Ohio Scholastic Soccer Coaches Association Academic Award, coached soccer camp for younger students, organized a book drive for the Youngstown Rotary's Free Little Libraries, is active at St. Paul the Apostle Catholic Church, participated in food and clothing drives, and was a bell ringer for the Salvation Army. In addition to all her school and community activities, Taylor says she is so proud to also help and mentor her younger sister, Nicole, who was born with spina bifida. Whether it's helping Nicole with homework or just being by her side in social situations that can cause anxiety, Taylor says she is there to shine a light on her path and help guide the way. Ladies and gentlemen, please congratulate our first Anthem Scholarship recipient, Ms. Taylor Barber.
Hello. I'm very honored and grateful to be standing here today among so many accomplished women. I first want to thank everyone involved in the Athena Award for everything you do to empower women. I also want to thank Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield for this gracious scholarship. I've worked very hard to become valedictorian of my class at Springfield Local High School, and I know this scholarship will help to open many more gateways to future success. I also want to thank my parents for raising me to be who I am today. They have always supported me and continue to push me to be my best self. I am so glad and lucky to have them. My sister is also here today, and although I know she wouldn't want me talking about her, I just want to say one thing. My sister has worked so hard, harder than most have to be who she is and where she is today. My sister is a fighter, not only for herself, but for the rights of minorities too. She knows herself and her views, and she isn't afraid to advocate for what's right. I know she will go on to do great things in this world. She's the strongest person I know, and I'm proud to call her my sister. I know this scholarship will not go to waste on me as I embark on my next journey in life. I'm attending Youngstown State University in the fall and will be living on campus. I'm studying biology pre-med and hope to make a big impact in the medical field in the future. I want to help people and make a difference in someone's life because I feel like that is what I was put on this earth to do. I wish to one day be as accomplished as all the women here today. That means you too, Mom. Standing here and seeing so many successful women gives me so much more confidence that my dreams are tangible. I just have to work hard enough to make them a reality. Thank you.
Thanks, Taylor, and congratulations again on all your hard work and achievement. Our second Anthem Scholarship recipient, Sabrina Bartholomew, is also gearing up to begin her next chapter at Youngstown State University, where she will pursue a degree in finance, business, and marketing with the ultimate goal of obtaining a degree in law. Sabrina, who began taking high school classes in middle school, will graduate from Struthers High School with a 4.0 grade point average. The president of the National Honor Society has received an academic letter, was an honors algebra math counts competitor, and has been Student of the Month. She lettered and received numerous honors in soccer, basketball, and track, and also played flag football. The senior class treasurer was a writer and editor for the Student Prince newspaper and was on homecoming court this past fall. Sabrina has volunteered at several Rotary Club events, including pancake breakfasts and food drives, refereed and coached soccer and basketball games for younger kids, and was a teen advisory board member for the Public Library of Youngstown and Mahoning County. She says that this scholarship would help provide the funds necessary for her to continue on her undergraduate path with the desired dream of making it to law school. Sabrina also notes that choosing a career path is a diligent task at such a young age. However, I know that if I stay focused on what I truly want and keep working hard every day, the sky's the limit. Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to present this scholarship to Sabrina Bartholomew. Sabrina is attending a district track meet this evening and was so upset that she couldn't join us. But she was excited for the honor and wanted to be sure to share her appreciation. So if you can please turn your attention to the screens.
My name is Sabrina Bartholomew, and I'm a graduating senior from Struthers High School. I am saddened by the fact that I was not able to attend this evening due to a prior school commitment. Nevertheless, I am deeply honored to have been chosen as the 2019 Anthem Scholarship recipient. If high school has taught me one thing over the past 4 years, it is that I must work hard and diligent for everything sent my way. I must work to make myself a better, positive person. I must work to make myself the best daughter, friend, niece, and granddaughter. I must work harder on the court, field, and track. I must work to make myself the best academic standout I can be. However, most of all, high school has taught me that I need to work hard for others. I need to work hard as a leader and as a mentor. As a child, I was involved in many activities that allowed me the opportunity to look up to the next level and see how the older kids accomplish the tasks. In high school, I was given the honor of doing the same mentoring for those younger than me. I worked hard to make their experiences just as remarkable as mine were. I strongly believe that the guidance and leadership I handed down to those around me has shaped me into the individual who realizes that I am ready to take on the next chapter of life. All these experiences have made me realize that the most important years I spent letting others impact my life so I can in turn make a difference in theirs. In the fall, I will be continuing my journey at Youngstown State University with a major in finance and business. This scholarship will allow me the ability to fulfill my dreams of studying at the undergraduate level with as minimal debt as possible so I can in future attend law school. Thank you.
Well, congratulations to Galena, Taylor, and Sabrina. And to thank all of you, Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield, and all of the contributors to the Athena Scholarship, to know that these are truly investments in the future leaders of our communities. And we thank you for continuing to invest in these young women. And to the three of you, we look forward to seeing you back in the future and being one of the nominees as you pursue your careers later in life. So I'd like to ask you to pay attention to the screen again as we have some comments from our nominees responding to another question.
The people who inspire me the most are actual people. They're my students. Not only do they make me wholeheartedly want to just be a better instructor, a better scholar, a better professor, but they actually make me want to be a better human being, and they've really, shown me that, life is more than just work. It's interaction with people and just being a great individual.
I would say the one person that I think of right now is Reshma Sajani, and she's the woman who actually created the organization Girls Who Code. And the thing that I think is absolutely spectacular about her and what inspired me is that she took what was a defeat. She ran for Congress, she didn't make it, but she took what she learned in that, and she saw the opportunity to do something for herself, for the community, and she turned that defeat into a stunning victory that's benefiting girls all throughout the world. So to me, it's so inspiring to see someone say, look, I'm gonna try. And if I fail, that's okay, because I'm going to make something out of that. And I think that's awesome.
Definitely my grandfather and my dad. My grandfather was a soccer player, professional soccer player, and he played for the Mexican team in the World Cup. So he's a really famous soccer player, and he used to always push us to like learn more and be more and to be passionate about something and to work really hard for it. And it was really funny because he was very passionate and loved soccer and played soccer really well. My dad didn't really like his job that much, but he went every single day, and I learned from both of them to be passionate and to have that discipline of going every day and working really hard.
I think in work would be Angela Glover Blackwell. She was an organizer, is activist. She leads Policy Link, and it's around equity and social justice issues. And I think of everything, it's a big job and a big world, but her vision is to just look out for or cover the most vulnerable of us, and then the rest of us are covered. And so I think that's quite an inspiration, because again, it's such a big undertaking, but broken down to its most simplest form, I think we could all do our part.
I would actually have to say that that's my mother. Life is so uncertain, and I feel that my mom drew her strength from all of life's unpredictable moments. She's always taught her children to love passionately, to treat others with respect, and she really gave to her children on times where she probably didn't have much to give.
I would say my family is my biggest inspiration, mostly my son. He's the center of our life at home, and enjoying every minute of raising him. And I think even in work that carries over, because he motivates me to always be my best and to set goals and reach my goals and set a good example for him about what it is to work hard and how to set goals and reach those goals.
My inspiration, really the biggest influence on my life has been my family. My work ethic, my worldview, my sense of self, my mindset, that all really came in those formative years from my family. We were encouraged to be lifelong learners. We were encouraged to take risks and go after the challenging choice and to embrace differences.
My mother is my inspiration in life. She taught me hard work and to love people and to be kind, to not judge people, and to always stand up for what's right, even if you're the only one in the room, strong enough to do that. So,
I would like to ask our next group of nominees, Jennifer Johnson, Joyce Kale-Pesta, Bridget Kennedy, Jenna Kiefer, and Tammy King to join Katie near the stage and join James and Elizabeth on stage as I read your introduction. Jennifer Johnson is Aqua Ohio's first female area manager. Since assuming the role in 2015, she has successfully negotiated uniform water rate agreements with 11 municipalities and executed nearly $30 million in capital improvements. Jennifer has facilitated projects that include partnering with Mahoning County to construct Canfield Township's new water storage tank to increase water availability and service reliability. She helped establish the now 20-year-old Youngstown-Mahoney Valley United Way Bass Classic and serves as immediate past president of Struthers Rotary, chair of the Lowellville School Foundation, and secretary of the Executive Committee for the Better Business Bureau of the Mahoning Valley. Jennifer is also co-founder of Youngstown State University's Professional Attire Collection, which gathers and distributes gently used professional clothing to students and provides resume and interview preparation and programming. Joyce Kale-Pesta's work as director of the Mahoning County Board of Elections has been credited for moving the entity into the 21st century. Under Joyce's guidance, the board was the first in the state to implement innovations like online viewing of all board meetings, an app for mobile devices, and the use of electronic poll books. Joyce has been recognized as John F. Kennedy Democratic Women of the Year, League of Women Voters of Greater Youngstown Hall of Fame Award winner, and Ohio Secretary of State Bright Idea Awardee. She is the president of the Ohio Association of Election Officials, vice chair of the Secretary of State Board of Election Machine Examiners, chair of the Mahoning County Data Processing Board, and president of Mahoning Valley St. Patrick's Day Parade. As president of Ursuline Ministries, Bridget Kennedy oversees all 5 major ministries founded by the Ursuline Sisters of Youngstown: Beatitude House, Ursuline Sisters Senior Living, Ursuline Sisters HIV/AIDS Ministry, Ursuline Education and Wellness Center, and Ursuline Preschool and Kindergarten. These ministries represent more than 80 staff members and $8 million in annual revenue in service of over 2,000 individuals and families. Bridget's position is the culmination of more than 20 years of service with Ursuline Sisters affiliated programs. During that time, she earned 2 master's degrees and additional certifications. She is a member of the Youngstown Diocese Child Protection Review Board and Ohio AIDS Drug Assistance Part B Advisory Board, as well as the vice chair of the Mahoning County Continuum of Care and immediate past chair of the Mahoning County Children's Services Board. A Kent State University graduate and human resources manager for Home for Kids, Jenna Kiefer also plays an integral role in the Western Reserve chapter of the Society for Human Resource Management, SHRM. A board member of the Western Reserve chapter SHRM since 2005, Jenna has driven its success by growing membership, maintaining its chapter status, and securing 100% affiliation with the national SHRM. She has obtained a SHAPE Annual Achievement Award for the chapter and is also its champion for community outreach, spearheading projects like the annual food drive for the Second Harvest Food Bank and monetary donations for the SHRM National Foundation. Jenna has served as a mentor to students in Junior Achievement Success Skills Program and to Youngstown State University SHRM Student Group. Dr. Tammy King has dedicated nearly 30 years to the study of criminal justice and criminology at Youngstown State University, serving as instructor, chair of the Criminal Justice and Forensic Sciences Department, associate dean of the Batanti College of Health and Human Services, and now its acting dean. Her work led to the Batanti College becoming the largest at the university as she increased the number of students and courses and degrees offered. She brought the Ohio Peace Officer Training Academy to campus so students could obtain their criminal justice degrees while concurrently training for law enforcement, and also implemented Prior Learning Assessment, a program that gives students college credit for learning that has occurred outside the classroom. Dr. King has worked with the Heart Reach Neighborhood Ministry since 1996, providing services to under-resourced, at-risk youth. Can we please give a round of applause to our second group of nominees?
I'd now like to ask our final group of nominees, Catherine Kamara, Sarah Michelson, Alicia Prieto Longarica, Jennifer Roller, and Sarah Wilczek, to join Katie near the stage, and then James and Elizabeth on stage as I read your introduction. As Director of Operations for the Behavioral Health Institute at Mercy Health in Youngstown, Catherine Kamara has provided the Valley's residents with better access to a growing network of behavioral health and addiction service providers. The YSU graduate has been instrumental in recruiting needed psychiatric services to the region while standardizing care for shorter hospital stays and better patient outcomes. Catherine also developed the Behavioral Access Center, and she assists in coordinating community social worker team projects to screen and interview patients who lack insurance or a medical home to assist them in acquiring both. Catherine serves on the Mahoning County Board of Mental Health, Alta Health Executive Board, and the Stambaugh Charter Academy Board. She also received the Alumni of the Year Award for Social Work at YSU just this past February. Dr. Sarah Michelson is the chair of Youngstown State University's Kinesiology and Sports Science Department. Under her leadership, the program has grown and excels in research. She has been recognized with 2 postdoctoral fellowships to study children's health issues, 2 YSU Research Professorship Awards, and the Golden Key Award. Dr. Michelson, who serves on the professional committee for the American College of Sports Medicine, has undertaken the remodeling of the Midlothian Free Health Clinic from an acute care model into a student-driven, interdisciplinary preventive healthcare clinic. Not only does her work with the clinic provide much-needed preventative healthcare to underserved populations, it provides students with collaborative research and training opportunities. For her efforts, she has received the Senefani Center of Excellence Award. Dr. Alicia Prieto Longarica is an associate professor of mathematics and statistics at YSU. In her 7 years on staff, she has helped secure hundreds of thousands of dollars in grant funding to support research and student development in the mathematics field. Through recruitment and mentoring, she has been instrumental in increasing the proportion of female to male math majors from 1 to 4 to slightly more than 2 to 4, as well as increasing the number of Latinx and Hispanic students. She has received the Honors College Professor Award for Excellence in Teaching and Learning and Honors, a Student Service Award, and a Distinguished Professor Award for Excellence in Scholarship. She is the co-founder of Laxisms.org, an online community that features accomplishments, research, and mentoring contributions of Latinx and Hispanics in math. In her 12 years at the Raymond John Whedon Foundation, Jennifer Roller has worked her way from program officer to president. Under her leadership, the foundation has significantly impacted the Valley's community transformation and capacity building by strategically funding grassroots efforts through programs like Neighborhood Success, which has awarded $1.6 million in grants to 459 resident-led projects in 10 years. Jennifer's successes also include completing the design of the foundation's strategic direction from 2019 to 2023, using internal talent and the input of nearly 200 residents, grantees, and community stakeholders, and implementing race, equity, and inclusion training for more than 280 area leaders. She serves on the board of the Community Foundation of the Mahoning Valley and is a member of the Philanthropy Ohio Association and Association of Black Foundation Executives. In March of this year, Sarah Wilczek was named Executive Director of Congregation Rodef Shalom after having served as a board member of the organization. For the past 7 years prior, Sarah worked at the Jewish Community Center and Youngstown Area Jewish Federation, starting as a programming coordinator and becoming community development manager for the JCC, where she facilitated several successful community collaborations and secured grants to enhance the lives of children and families across the valley. She was also responsible for the Youngstown Partnership Together program with Accra, Israel, which facilitates people-to-people relationships through cultural, social, medical, educational, and economic programs. Sarah volunteers with the Liberty Community Food Pantry, is an executive committee member of Ohio Nonviolence Week, and was a recent Mahoning Valley 25 under 35 honoree. Can we please give a round of applause to our final group of nominees? Of course, we're going to keep you in suspense a little bit longer, and we'll name our 2019 Athena Award recipient a little later. And in a moment, Mary Beth Hauser is going to introduce our speaker for the evening. But first, I ask you to direct your attention to the screens once more.
Well, I don't know if no one knows, but I was in a mariachi band when I was in middle school, which was extremely embarrassing. So I don't know why I'm saying that.
What few people professionally know about me is that I actually have a twin sister. And her name's Lauren, and she's tall and I'm short, and people used to remember us by Lauren Long and Sarah Short.
When I was a kid, and I probably still am obsessed with Star Trek, but when I was little, I was so obsessed with Star Trek that I would go outside. People would hang their clothes outside, and they'd use clothespins. I would take clothespins, and I would pinch the top of my ears so that they would get pointy so I could be a Vulcan, so Mr. Spock would like me. I don't even think my mom knew about it. She just noticed clothespins disappearing.
One thing I would have to pick is if you would walk into my house, everything has its place. And one thing probably most would not know about me, it's like an episode of Friends. I have that closet that when company comes over or you need to hide something, you just shove it in there. So that would be one thing.
When I was in middle school, I considered being a nun. I was intrigued with the monastic life, and so for a couple years I rolled that around. Then I got boy crazy and it went out the window, which is good because I have 4 amazing kids now, so.
I hate stumps, like people who cut down their trees and leave the stumps. And I discovered that it's really cheap to get them ground. So I don't know why they leave them. And then some people put like flower pots on top of them and deck. So someday, if I ever hit it, make it big, my personal ministry will be to go out in like with a crew and we'll just grind stumps.
Probably a lot of people don't know that I'm a 2-time stem cell donor to a non-relative unknown recipient. So I donated stem cells twice.
I have I won't say it's a collection because I use them, but I have acquired over the last 2.5 years about 30 or 35 fountain pens, and I use all of them. I keep 10 or 12 inks at any given time, each with a different ink, so that I have just the right pen for every occasion.
It's my privilege to introduce our keynote speaker this evening. Elizabeth McIntyre became the editor of Crane's Cleveland Business in 2014 and took on the dual role of publisher and editor in 2016 for the medium that was founded in 1980 and has since become Northeast Ohio's leading source of business news, analysis, and commentary. Elizabeth's love of journalism began at a very young age, and upon graduating from Bowling Green State University, she began her career in the field, working as a copy editor at the Morning Journal in Lorain. In 1990, and for the next 20 years, Elizabeth worked in various editorial roles at the Cleveland Plain Dealer, becoming deputy managing editor. In that role, she directed the news operations of the Metro, business, sports, and feature departments. Before joining Crane's, she worked as a public relations officer at the Cleveland Foundation. Elizabeth is a nationally recognized award-winning journalist and was named Best Business Columnist in Ohio in 2017 and 2018 by the Press Club of Cleveland. She says that one of the greatest joys of her career, though, was watching then reporter at the Plain Dealer, Connie Schultz, become a Pulitzer Prize-winning columnist. Connie Schultz, whom we were proud to welcome to keynote our Athena event 10 years ago, wanted her own column when Elizabeth was the speech editor at the Plain Dealer. Many weren't sure that Connie was ready, but Elizabeth championed her cause and believed in her talent and ability. And the rest, as they say, is history. It's good to be right, huh? Elizabeth married Plain Dealer columnist Mike McIntyre, who hosts the Sound of Ideas on 90.3 WCPN in Cleveland. Both husband and wife were inducted into the Press Club of Cleveland Hall of Fame in 2016. Now, if Elizabeth was not from the Valley, her introduction would end here. But because she's one of our own, I want to tell you a little bit more about her. She was born and raised on the south side of Youngstown, the youngest of 6 children. She attended St. Dominic Elementary School and graduated from Cardinal Mooney High School. Elizabeth, it wasn't me, but someone called Cardinal Mooney to ask if they could share any fun facts about your time there. And they sent us this, if I direct you to the screen. I think that's your graduation picture. And they also told us that you played the part of Miss Lynch in the High School musical Grease for your senior year. Elizabeth worked summers during high school at the original Handel's location on Midlothian Boulevard, earning $1.50 an hour when minimum wage was $3.15. Hopefully, all that wonderful ice cream made up for the difference in wages. In fact, Elizabeth says to this day her favorite flavors are butter pecan and caramel cashew, and that Mitchell's Ice Cream in Cleveland has nothing on Handel's. Right, I agree. Elizabeth returned home frequently to visit her parents until they passed away a year ago. And she says she would not trade growing up in Youngstown for anything, because family is the commonality here. So ladies and gentlemen, please join me in giving a warm Valley welcome back to Ms. Elizabeth McIntyre.
Thank you so much for that beautiful introduction, Mary Beth. Months ago, first of all, I have to say, when you're 18 years old, you never dream of seeing your high school yearbook photo all these years later, and especially if you grew up in the 80s and you're sporting a mushroom cloud perm on the top of your head. So thanks for that. I appreciate it very much. Months ago, I was invited to speak at this year's Athena Awards. I cannot begin to describe how honored I, a proud Valley girl, as I like to call myself, was to be asked to speak to you tonight. I would not be who I am today without the people in the Mahoning Valley who raised, taught, and loved me. They are countless, and I could go on for hours, but neither of us wants that, right? I've got a glass of red wine waiting for me when I'm done with this, so let's get to it. So tonight, I hope to tell you about a few of those women, a little bit about myself, and some of the other extraordinary women I've come to know in my 30 years in journalism in Northeast Ohio. I hope some of these stories resonate. First, let me set the stage with why I chose the path I did as a journalist, and about one of the strongest advocates I ever met. On a cheerless February day in 1990, I made a phone call that would forever change me. The body of 10-year-old Amy Mahalovic of Bay Village, Ohio, had just been found in an Ashland County field. I, a fresh-faced cub journalist at the Morning Journal in the rain, had been assigned to get reaction from Patty Wetterling, whose 11-year-old son, Jacob, had been kidnapped in Minnesota 5 days before Amy's disappearance in October 1989. After breaking the news about Amy, I struggled through one of the most heartbreaking conversations of my life. More than 26 years would pass before Jacob's remains would be found. But for me, an aspiring young reporter who had taken a job as a copy editor to get my foot in the door out of college, the impact of that wrenching phone call was immediate. It set me on the path as a behind-the-scenes editor rather than a reporter on the front lines. I knew what needed to be done. I knew how to direct news coverage, and I knew what news was. I just couldn't do it myself, not when it came to calls like that. Getting that close to a news subject, especially one suffering like Patty Wetterling, took an emotional toll I wasn't willing to pay. If you're not familiar with the Wetterling story and Patty's advocacy for children's safety, I urge you to listen to Season 1 of the excellent In the Dark podcast. My point in sharing that story is you never know what path your life might take or how your career might evolve, which is why you should always be prepared. I knew I wanted to be a journalist and a storyteller when I first slung an orange Vindicator bag over my shoulder in 2nd grade and flung my first newspaper. I was proud to follow in the footsteps of my 5 older paper-carrying siblings. My route included a handful of neighbors on Judson Avenue, where I grew up, and around the bend on Potomac on Youngstown's South Side. That's when I fell in love with journalism and with news. I was an avid reader who always wanted to be in the know. I mean, seriously, what 5th grader reads The Scarlet Letter for fun? This nerd, that's who. My parents knew the Friday night routine depending on who was home. Drive Elizabeth to either Brownlee Woods or Southside Library to return and check out her self-imposed requirement to read 3 books a week. A side note, Gone with the Wind as a 4th grader will take more than a week. The first businesswoman I ever encountered was Alice Handel. Sure, when I first met her, she looked like someone's grandma, but she was a fireball. Mrs. Handel stood maybe 5 foot 2 inches, if I'm being generous, with a perfectly coiffed head of hair, gray and all. If you worked the early shift on Thursdays, you knew Alice would be out for 2 hours for her weekly wash and set. That's when we treat ourselves to elaborate sundaes, full of chocolate pecan ice cream, hot fudge, whipped cream, and of course, a cherry on top. But Alice was smart, and I'm sure she knew what we were up to. Here's how savvy Alice was. She ran a seasonal business back then. Handel's was only open from March to October, which meant she could hire workers under age 16, well below minimum wage. So when I started sporting my white painter pants, my button-down shirt, and my red bandana, the standard uniform back then, at the age of 12, in March 1980, I made $1.50 an hour when the Ohio minimum wage was $3.15. But the truth is, I got so much more out of that experience than $1.50 an hour. Alice got cheap labor, and I got an education. Alice was a pioneer who saw an opportunity in 1945 as customers pulled up to her husband's gas station at the corner of Market and Midlothian. Why not start a side hustle serving delicious frozen custard? Yes, her recipes technically are custard. They're not ice cream, but they call it ice cream, but that's a long story. So she figured I'll mix some fruit with it that she grew on her family farm and she'd be set. I can still see Alice now with a cigarette dangling from her lip, mixing yet another batch, throwing in a handful of fresh salty pecans into a vat of chocolate heaven. I know she'd love the idea that Handel's ice cream is now franchised in nearly a dozen states. Alice showed me savvy business skills, but my mother, Mary Rose Kimes, showed me the heart of a working mom. In 2 weeks, I'll mark the first anniversary of my mom's passing. She died exactly 1 month after my dad. They both were soulmates and my role models, and truly the reason why, since I graduated college 30 years ago, I'd regularly return to Youngstown, monthly, weekly, or daily if needed. When I was growing up in the 1970s, not many of my friends had moms who worked. Mine did. She worked because our large family, 6 kids, fewer than 8 years apart, needed the income. And she did it because she wanted to work. My mom had a choice, and she decided to work as a nurse. We have the same choice today. Some choose to stay home with children, much more often women than men. Some take extended time off and then re-enter the workforce after having kids. My choice was to be a working mom, like my mother, and it's guided by her example. My mom was tireless. She gave her all to her job as a nurse while she was on duty, and even more to us when she was not. She was always nurturing, and she was tireless. My mom slept 4 hours each night. She'd work the 3 to 11 shift in the newborn nursery at Saney's on Belmont. And I bet she rocked and changed the diapers of some of you in the audience tonight. She'd stay up until 2 a.m., enjoying some alone time away from the 6 of us. And then she'd get up at 6 a.m. to prepare the most amazing breakfast for us. Eggs and bacon, scrumptious pancakes and French toast, and my personal favorite, fried mush. She'd time our breakfast perfectly like a short-order cook. Then, when we were off to school, she'd hang laundry on the clothesline, prep dinner for us to finish, and head out the door to work at 2:30, just before we got home for school. I said I was inspired by my mom, but I'm not my mom. My kids were lucky if I can get an unstale box of cereal onto the table before they went off to school. When my dad got off work, he'd take over the parenting duties in the evening, making sure we cleaned up after ourselves and did our homework. Having two working parents taught my siblings and me how to be responsible and self-reliant, and we learned a tremendous amount about work ethic from our parents. These two amazing Valley women, my mother and Alice Handel, helped shape me, and so did many others who taught me at St. Dom's and Cardinal Mooney, and who I worked alongside at Handel's, Strauss's, and then Kaufman's, and Perkins. I've been lucky to have been shaped by other remarkable women while covering news in Northeast Ohio. Let me tell you about a few of them. In the mid-1990s, while living in California, Laura Cowan became trapped in an abusive polygamous marriage along with two other women and 19 children, 3 of them her own. Her husband beat and starved Laura and her children. For part of those 4 years, they were locked in a garage. During that time, she secretly took notes about the abuse and kept them with her. When she accompanied her husband to the post office in 1999, she secretly slipped the notes to a postal worker who thankfully called the police. After earning her freedom, Laura returned to her hometown of Cleveland in 2001. Since then, she's worked on behalf of domestic violence prevention. She volunteers for the Domestic Violence and Child Advocacy Center and can be found at nearly every walk, vigil, or fundraiser for the cause. And 5 years ago, she started the Laura Cowan Foundation to raise money to support women and children escaping abusive homes. The same year, we at Crane's Cleveland Business honored her as one of our women of note. This story may sound a little familiar. I was privileged to work alongside a journalist who came from blue-collar roots and was the first in her family to graduate college. She joined the Plain Dealer in the early 90s, and her undying passion was to tell the stories of the underdogs and underprivileged. More than anything, she wanted to be a columnist and get paid for all the opinions she threw around for free, as her dad said. She got plenty of no's along the way, but when she was a reporter on my feature staff in the early 2000s, I successfully lobbied the editor to give her a chance with the column. And like they sing in Hamilton, she didn't throw away her shot. In 2005, Connie Schultz won the Pulitzer Prize, the highest honor in journalism, for commentary. This next woman knows well the feeling of having doors slammed in her face. It was conservative Texas in the mid-1970s when this history major at the top of her class rejected the typical career paths laid out for women. Careers like teaching or nursing, which society often funneled women into, didn't inspire her. She sought out the business world, applying at a bank where she landed a job as a secretary. Her collegiate success was underwhelming to interviewers. They only cared about how fast she could type. She aspired to much more. So she went knocking at doors at nearly every bank in Dallas, seeking an inroad to a management training program. Besides being female, she had no business degree. Those things made it easy for the men with whom she interviewed to turn her down. Undeterred, a bank eventually lined her up with its head of human resources. That man, she recalled, was more interested in lunch with his buddies than the meeting. Going in, she was insistent on being hired then and there. Where prior meetings were cut short with closed doors, this one took 3 hours. At the end of the meeting, she said, he looked at me and said, "I've never seen someone who wants something so badly. I don't think you're going to succeed. I don't think you have the skills for the job. But if I tell you no, I'm not going to sleep tonight." She was in. She would go to night school to earn her master's, take a pay cut next to others in the program because she was deemed an underqualified woman, and was flat out told if she flubbed anything, you're out of here. Needless to say, the rest is history. Today, Beth Mooney, as chairman and CEO of Cleveland-based KeyCorp, is the most powerful woman nationwide in banking and is lauded for her company's advancement of women and minorities under her direction. Finally, one of the features I'm most proud that we've undertaken at Cranes is our 8/80 awards that we started a few years ago. We realize that while these folks might have retired in the traditional sense, many of our elders remain active in civic affairs and in a few cases, the business world. 2 years ago, we honored 104-year-old Judge Jean Merle Capers, the first Black woman elected to Cleveland City Council, who also served as an Assistant State Attorney General and a Cleveland Municipal Court Judge, and influenced generations of elected officials. She was a fiercely independent thinker and political actor who understood the true meaning of public service. And she was never afraid to smash the toes of the powers that be. When the City Club of Cleveland, the prestigious public forum, refused to allow women to join, she was on the picket line. She explained, "I have been a door opener because some Americans did not believe fundamentally in respect of the individual as our Constitution enunciates." And with that, the City Club of Cleveland opened its doors to women in 1972. Cranes was honored to celebrate the trailblazing Judge Capers 2 months before she found her heavenly reward in July 2017. Judge Capers, Mrs. Handel, my mom, and the others I've mentioned tonight are some of the many women who've sparked a fire in me. There are people of all ages who will be inspired hearing your stories, who will gain strength from working with you. Always continue to find your path in life and follow it. You never know who's watching and learning. God bless you as you continue your amazing journeys, and thank you.
Elizabeth, thank you for giving us an opportunity to reflect on who's impacted our lives and to inspire us to continue to impact the lives of others. So on behalf of all of us here at Athena, we have a gift of appreciation. Thank you very much for sharing your thoughts with us.
Thank you very much.
Before we announce our 2019 Athena Award recipient, I'd like to ask you to turn your attention to the screens for one last time.
My advice for professional women is life is a journey, not a destination. It'll be riddled with trials and tribulations, lots of joys, but remembering all the important things that you learn throughout is very important, as those develop the skills that we need to continue through our journey. Also, just as someone reached out to you to help you, I'd encourage you to reach out to others to help them as well.
I think my best advice is to surround yourself by people who challenge you and to always be open, even in the midst of the chaos, to make sure that you're listening and trying to take everything in, and then to kind of tolerate yourself and be okay with with not being perfect, and be okay with really working hard to try to see, what works for you, and stay passionate.
I always say, don't give up. Don't let other people define you. Have your eye on the prize. Work hard, don't deviate, stay the course. People are going to say things that upset you. Find someone to talk to, talk it out, but always plan on what you need to do. Don't let others try to sidetrack you.
My best advice for professional women, young professional women in particular, is advice I still try to follow, and that is to talk less and listen more. I think when we're younger especially, we are really too eager to show what we know and to prove how we can contribute to a situation. But the risk there is that we don't learn from others the way we could, and sometimes we come up with solutions to problems that we've defined, instead of finding out from the people in those situations how they define the problem and then helping them to come up with their own solutions.
My advice would be that all the challenges and rewards build your character. So make the choice to embrace those experiences to make the greatest impact in your life.
If you don't see a clear path, then just create it for yourself instead. Try to realize that what has always been in no way, shape, or form is what will always be, and just create your own path.
My best professional advice would be to seize every opportunity. I started with my company 10 years ago as the box office assistant, and I have done many different titles, many different roles. I always said yes to everything they asked me to do. I was the assistant, I was in events, I was in ticketing, and that's ultimately led me on the path to where I am today as the director of booking.
Professional women should be professional. They should not use language that's inappropriate. I see a lot of young girls out in the world today using words that we would have never thought to use, especially around our mothers. So that, I think, is the most important thing, that they have to act professional.
It's now my honor and privilege to announce our 2019 Athena Award recipient. You've heard about the many accomplishments of our 15 nominees this evening, and each embodies the true spirit of Athena. But tonight we will name one recipient. Our 2019 Athena Award recipient has been driven throughout her career and works extremely hard to help those in our community and beyond prepare for their own careers and futures in the same field. I happen to know that this individual is the daughter of hippies who took her to a lot of Beatles concerts, and when she was 17 was allowed to go to England on her own. She doesn't have pointy ears, but she does have more than 30 years of experience in and dedication to her chosen profession. She's opened doors for women in a male-dominated field and encouraged them to blaze a trail. She started the first forensic science program in the state of Ohio, the Ohio Peace Officer Training Academy, and the Prior Learning Assessment Program. It's my pleasure to announce our 2019 Athena Award recipient, Dr. Tammy King, Acting Dean of the College of Health and Human Services.
Wow. This is so exciting. I'm so touched and so honored. There are so many wonderful women here tonight, and the nominees, great examples. It's a privilege to be in your presence, and it was a privilege to have my name listed with the nominees. Thank you to my fellow nominees for all you do. I truly believe in life, the greatest privilege, the greatest responsibility for all of us is to help and serve each other. My fellow nominees, you exemplify that, and thank you. I'd like to begin by thanking the sponsors of the event, the Chamber, thank you, and the Vindicator. And I really appreciate your efforts and your willingness to showcase the good works of women in our communities. And also thank you to our Creator, who has given us a wonderful life here. I have to thank Youngstown State University. I'm so proud to be a member of YSU. I think you've heard tonight how much it influences this valley, how much it improves this valley. YSU, they stress outstanding education, community service and research. The administrators, they encourage us. They encourage all members of our staff to make a positive impact on our students in our community. And I also thank Joe Mosca, our interim provost. who's always been a strong supporter of my efforts. I appreciate all the organizations who have taken a risk and let me help them. Just to name a few, I've had the privilege of working for the American Red Cross, Heart Reach Neighborhood Ministries, Ebony Lifelines. I've done work for the American Cancer Association, Home for Good, Task, and my church, First Baptist Girard. I'd like to thank my family. My mom and my sister are here tonight, and my husband, Ray. Let me brag about Ray for a moment. He's a wonderful human being. He believes and he values everybody, and he believes in equality. And I'm very lucky he married me, and I'm happy he stayed with me, because that can sometimes be a challenge. I want to thank all my friends here tonight. I know so many of you, and it's such an honor, such a privilege to know you. And just to, I don't want to keep you here all night, but I just want to, point out a few things that, one, I'm not standing here by myself. I'm only here because of all of you and because of my family and my friends. And I just appreciate all of you, and I thank you for being a part of my life. In closing, I'd just like to encourage every one of you in the room, continue your good works. Sometimes it's not easy, I get that. And treat people with kindness. Just be kind to each other. What a great world this could be if that were one of our number one priorities, wouldn't it be? Never turn away from injustice. It's hard when you see something that's inappropriate, and sometimes it's uneasy to challenge it, but please do it. Be true to yourself, and always fight the good fight. God bless all of you. Safe journey home. And I guess I have to do this. Live long and prosper. Good night. Oh, okay. Sorry, I almost forgot anymore. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Did you have anything else? Holy cow. Well, I get the pleasure to close this out tonight, and to me, I get to go to lots of different events, recognize and meet with many great leaders across the state and in our nation. This one touches me more than any, not only because I was raised by a strong woman who raised 9 boys and kept us in line, but yeah, exactly. We were talking about that earlier, and kept it all in order and kept us going. But I have 4 strong women at home that not only do they pick my ties and keep me straight there, but I have great women like Kim and Sarah and a whole cast more at the chamber that keep us going and keep us straight. So we have Dr. King, Dr. Young, Dr. Licata. As I said that, doctor. Oh my gosh, I got to go back to school. We have so many accomplished women and leaders here in our community. And as I said last year, is there going to be a day where we can stand up here and say we have the best leaders? Men, women, doesn't matter, just the best leaders. Tonight is a good example of we have that. And all of our scholarship awardees, amazing. Look forward to seeing what you guys are doing in the future. It's amazing. The Mahoning Valley has everything we need right here. This is a good example. I want to keep it going. I'll leave you with one thing. I was in Rwanda 25 years ago. I was working with a USAID worker. We were bringing in food. And I said, how do you do this? How do you get it, being the typical guy, I want to go in there and fix it. What do we do to solve the solution? He said, we want to go in, we got to find the leader, right? The mayor, the tribal chief, who is it? We're going to give them the food and get it fixed. He goes, no, we don't give it to the men. I said, what do you mean? He goes, no, you'll give it to the men, it'll disappear. You'll be back next week and you'll see that none of the kids have food. It's not in the schools. He goes, we're going to find the strongest woman out there. We're going to find her. She's going to bring 10 of the strongest women, and they're going to make sure the entire village, the entire community is fed and taken care of. And to me, that always stuck, that it's a different mindset. Men are men, women are women, good, bad, and the difference, right? But if we think about it, and as I heard many of these women speaking today, it's a different mindset, and it's a collective thought. It's a selfless perspective that helps make us better people and helps make our community better. And thank you all for coming. Thank you for this great event. We'd like to give everyone one more round of applause, and thanks. All right, before the rain starts, let's go enjoy that 80-degree weather.